Hi, I'm Kyle Pennypacker and welcome back to Penny Prepper. Today's video topic is going to be talking about shelter and reinforcement of that shelter. But before we get started today, I'm going to ask that you like the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share. Before we really get into today's video, I'd like to start off by saying to any eagle-eyed folks out there, I do have a new piece of jewelry on, and yeah, that's why the videos were a little slower or maybe not the highest quality the last week. Not that it really matters, that this isn't what you're here for, but the next few videos coming up may be not the highest quality, but as soon as I can, I'm going to be producing higher quality content. I have a GoPro now. I'm going to be starting to go outside and actually showing the practical side of a lot of these skills, not just talking about them, which is really the most important part, is actually getting to see the skills firsthand, and that's what I'd really like to get into. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to address with this is, why pack a shelter if you have a tent already, or let's say you're planning on going somewhere and going to a bug out location? Well, the most important reason is getting to that location, or if you have to divert, or let's say that you show up to your bug out location and it's gone. Let's say you had piping in it and it froze over the winter, destroyed it, or there was a fire, maybe there's somebody else living in it and you're not able to get them out, for example. So having the ability to have additional resources to keep yourself sheltered definitely will be great to have. You don't want to get stuck out in the elements, especially here in Pennsylvania. Winters can get pretty darn cold. Also, with packable shelter, obviously, if you are planning on bugging in and you have a decent bug in location, you really want to focus on improving that. I'm not saying just focus on your bug in location, obviously. You need to have a backup for the backup for the backup. That is, the saying is, 2 is 1 and 1 is none. That really comes in handy with this type of thing, where, for example, whenever I go out, I have multiple ways of lighting fires. You know, you have a Bic lighter, not Bic, but let's say that this gets wet or it cracks. No more fuel. Well, luckily for me, I normally have a backup, an electric lighter, plasma type lighter, whatever you want to call it. And then let's say, oh no, I didn't charge it, or I used too much of the light. You know, now I can't use it anymore. Well, I also have storm-proof matches. I also have magnifying glasses, Fresno lens, ferro rods. I have, honestly, more than enough options. But same goes for your shelter. You're going to want a backup for the backup for the backup, because if you're out there, if you're not able to bushcraft and build yourself a shelter, let's say you do have to bug out, or there's an issue with your bug out location, or getting there. You need to have maybe, say, an emergency bivy or Mylar blanket. That would be a great shelter, maybe for a day or two. But if you're too far away, let's say your vehicle breaks down and you're not able to make it there in 2 days, well, what are you going to do? Well, having maybe, say, a piece of tarp that you have in your vehicle, that'll last you a pretty decent amount of time. Yeah, you can't wrap yourself in it, you could, but it's better than nothing, and it's better than getting rained on. I was really hoping that this video would be a lot quicker. I'm trying not to go off of a script like I was at the beginning, but every time I seem to keep thinking of things and I just keep rolling on. So I apologize if it seems as though I'm just rambling. But the best things to do would be, first, go out, maybe start out small, buy a poncho. I just got 4 really small emergency ponchos at Walmart, 35 cents each. They go on sale every once in a while. That's great. Just tuck it in your backpack. It's like that small. You just slide it in there, and then let's say you got a bug out or you got to walk, just throw it on, and they're disposable. They'll at least last 1 or 2 tries, 1 or 2 uses. Also, you should have at least 1 or 2 trash bags just for whatever comes up, water storage, moving stuff. It's great to have, and honestly, you can cut it out, use it as a pack cover, use it as a poncho if need be. There's a lot of uses for plastic. Pretty much the plastic ponchos, you can utilize them the same way you would one of the Rothko style military longer ponchos. Those obviously, the military style ponchos, you can actually convert into tents, but I wouldn't rely so much on the emergency ponchos, but we'll get into that in a second. All right, we already covered emergency bivvies and Mylar blankets. I always have one in my backpack just in case. I also have some in the vehicles because in Pennsylvania it does get very cold, and also with the weather you're never really sure what exactly it's going to dump on you. So a lot of times I take those with me. I've already gone on hikes that should have taken 2 hours and lasted about 8. So it's a good thing to have. Also can assist with shock symptoms as well. As far as reinforcing your shelter, such as your home, I would say the windows and doors are the most obvious and also at the same time not. You're going to want to first, if you're able to, put something up, whether it's curtains, blinds, just something that people can't see in. That'll prevent people from seeing what you're doing, and it'll also prevent, basically, if somebody decides that they want to throw something through your window, it's a little bit of a barrier. It also reduces a little bit of noise, and I would say that would be first, but if you're able to measure and pre-cut some boards for your windows and doors. Maybe not so much your doors because you want to be able to evacuate easily in the event of needing to do so, but the windows definitely get nails, screws, especially screws, and then actually when the time comes, have those pre-cut sections wherever, and then if an emergency occurs where you need to block up the windows, you'll have them ready. You can even mark the inside and say which window, stuff like that. I really think that's a great thing to do. I've seen people do it for hurricanes. In Pennsylvania, we don't really worry about hurricanes as much, but still, civil disturbances, tornadoes, floods, anything like that. It's just great to have, and it's pre-preparing before you need to be prepared. All right, let's see. So the call to action for this video is going to be just go out to Walmart, buy a couple tarps, go into the camping section, see what they have. If you don't already have a tent, try to get an all-season tent. Even if you live down south, a lot of times you're able to take off the fly if it's decent weather and ventilate. I have a 3-season tent, not so great in the wintertime, and also it's smaller, not exactly the best thing for a family, especially having dogs, stuff like that, but just you need to keep stuff like that in mind. Try to go for all season because you never know what the weather is going to be like when an emergency occurs. With that, if you're able to actually learn how to bushcraft and make your own shelter, that would be ideal because you don't know the type of shelter you're going to need until you get there, how big you might need, or the conditions of which you're going to be preparing for. Obviously, if you have a poncho or tarp, you can just throw it up and you're golden. But again, if you're going for something a little bit longer term, those skills will also come back into your preparing of reinforcing your home as well. All right, that's all we have for today's video. If there's anything you would like to see me cover in the upcoming videos, please comment, share, and let me know. Stay safe and stay prepared.